When Gideon was scared and he felt like that he was the least of the least, God called him mighty man of valor. In other words, he's like, hey, God, if you was there for me, you're talking about, it was hard for him to believe that. He couldn't believe what God was saying. God was saying, hey, you are what I say you are. God doesn't see you defeated. God see you in victory. David was a teenage boy when God called him. He didn't know he was going to be. God said, I found a man after my own heart. David would eventually grow to be the king over Israel. He would do great things for God. If you go to the book of Acts, chapter 13, you'll find out why God chose David. God chose David for very one simple. He said that he would fulfill what I told him to do. This is in the scripture that God knew that when he found a man after his own heart, he knew if he told David to go exact vengeance, David was going to do whatever God told him to do. David was dependent upon God. The only time that when a man falls is when he takes his eyes off of God. You'll find out when he fell with Bathsheba, it says that when kings should be off to war, he was walking on a rooftop and he allowed the lust of his eyes to come into his heart and drift him away from God. In other words, but long as David kept his presence on God, he was always in control.